Step away from the counter. Reynolds barked, voice echoing off linoleum tiles and glass shelves. The mid-afternoon sun beat down relentlessly on the streets of Queens, New York, reflecting off the shiny hoods of yellow taxis and black SUVs idling at the red light. A sweet aroma of roasted nuts mingled with the exhaust of delivery trucks. Sidewalk vendors shouted their daily specials. Pedestrians weaved between one another, and the urban rhythm pulsed like a living, chaotic heartbeat. Inside a small, crowded corner bodega, Marcus Thompson, male, 38, dark complexion, athletic build, casual shirt and jeans, standing tensely, eyes wide open, jaw clenched, hands slightly raised in defensive posture, aggressive yet controlled expression. Scanned the shelves carefully, picking items deliberately, aware of every small detail in the bustling store. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's video, we want to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. His sister, Tamara Thompson, female, 32, dark complexion, casual work attire, standing frozen, hand gripping a shopping bag, fearful expression, eyes wide, body tense, protective and cautious. Follow behind, making sure nothing fell from her bag. She was trying to act casual, but every instinct screamed danger. The bodega's bell clanged sharply as the door swung open violently. Officer Brian Reynolds, male, mid-30s, white, patrol uniform, leaning aggressively forward, posture dominating but non-lethal, facial expression stern, uncompromising, impulsive and arrogant, strode in with a purposeful gait. Behind him, Officer Kevin Mason, male, late 20s, white patrol uniform, circling with sharp, calculating eyes, hands near his belt, observant, slightly subordinate, move around the perimeter, scanning every face. Their presence was like a storm ripping through the calm. The ordinary rhythm of the store shattered instantly. Step away from the counter. Reynolds barked, voice echoing off linoleum tiles and glass shelves. Marcus froze mid-step, milk carton in hand. His heartbeat raced, yet his composure was unwavering. I'm just shopping, he said, hand still raised offensively, voice calm but tense. You match a suspect description, Reynolds growled, advancing aggressively, hands behind your back. Now! Tamara's eyes widened. Her hand tightened on her shopping bag as she stepped slightly in front of Marcus. Marcus, don't provoke them. You haven't done anything. Reynolds ignored her entirely, his boot heels clicking sharply against the tile. Mason mirrored every move, circling like a predator. The entire store seemed to hold its breath. Marcus raised his hands fully but kept his posture relaxed, careful not to escalate. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm buying groceries. That's all. Reynolds' expression darkened. ID. Now! Before Marcus could respond, Reynolds lunged, slamming him violently against the counter. Milk spilled, glass bottles clattered the floor, and a metallic crash echoed to the bodega. Time seemed to freeze in the aisles. Tamara screamed, Marcus, stop. You haven't done anything. Her voice trembled, yet rang through the space like a desperate plea. Bystanders, a mother holding her toddler, a teenager clutching a phone, elderly shoppers frozen mid-step, delivery workers with packages still in hand. All stopped, eyes wide, subtle shock etched on their faces. None intervened. The tension hung heavy, suffocating. Marcus's mind raced. Pain shot through his shoulder, where Reynolds had slammed him. But deep down, he remained calm. He remembered the badge tucked in his wallet, the authority it symbolized, the quiet power he carried hidden from the world until this precise moment. Reynolds yanked Marcus to the floor again, his knee pressing into the carpeted tile, his hands aggressively restraining Marcus' movements. Your ID. Now! Marcus slowly reached into his wallet. The room was silent. Even the hum of the fluorescent lights seemed to fade. He pulled out his federal badge, United States Marshal, brass gleaming under the harsh overhead lights. Immediately, the atmosphere shifted. Time slowed. Reynolds faltered mid-movement. Mason stepped back, uncertainty flickering across his face. The crowd whispered, wide-eyed, the collective tension palpable. Tamara's hands shook as she clutched her shopping bag tighter, grounding herself beside her brother. Marcus's voice cut through the air, calm but commanding. You are in the presence of a United States Marshal. Step back. The officers froze. The once dominating posture of Reynolds wavered. Mason's calculating eyes darted nervously. For the first time, the intimidation they wielded had met its equal, unflinching and undeniable. Marcus rose slowly to his full height, athletic, composed, and controlled. Every movement deliberate. The bodega's fluorescent lights reflected off his badge, emphasizing the authority and discipline of lawmen, trained in both restraint and precision. The store manager, a middle-aged man in a rumpled apron, stepped forward cautiously. "Sir, thank you," he stammered, glancing at the spilled products and frightened customers. Marcus nodded, voice steady. Respect is earned by actions, not assumed by uniform. Let today be remembered. Hello, everyone. Before we continue, we want to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. Reynolds and Mason stepped back, visibly shaken. The customers, initially frozen, slowly regained composure, whispering among themselves. Marcus's sister Tamara helped him gather the scattered groceries, her hands still trembling. "Are you okay?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. "I'm fine," Marcus replied. "But you just saw what happens when someone abuses a badge, and you saw how the truth can flip everything in a second." Reynolds attempted to speak, but Marcus interrupted with calm authority, his posture assertive and eyes piercing. "You don't get to intimidate people just because of your uniform. Step back. Everyone here saw what happened." The tension in the bodega was palpable. Bystanders shifted uneasily, whispering amongst themselves. Marcus's composure stood in stark contrast to the officer's panic. "Everyone who witnessed this," Marcus continued, "remember that power is fragile when justice is ignored. Today, a badge protected me, but it does not give anyone a right to humiliate, to harm, or to abuse." A young mother whispered to her child, "See, even someone strong has to stand up for themselves." Tamara gripped Marcus's arm tightly. "They're going to report you?" she asked nervously. Marcus shook his head. "No, I just need them to understand this. One sentence, one truth can change everything." Outside, the distant wail of patrol siren grew louder. Additional officers arrived, drawn by the disturbance. Marcus stepped forward deliberately, displaying his badge once again. This is how justice should work. Not through fear, not through intimidation. Treat every person with respect, regardless of what you think you know. Even the incoming officers paused, recognizing the authority in Marcus's calm yet commanding stance. Athletic, calm, resolute. The image of quiet power radiated throughout the store. The bodega remained tense, silent, but the witnesses understood. Marcus had demonstrated courage. Truth and dignity could topple arrogance and abuse. Tamara whispered, voice shaking, "You're a hero." Marcus smiled faintly. "No, I'm just someone who knows his rights and his responsibilities. Never let anyone define your worth by fear or intimidation." Cell phone videos had already begun circulating online by the next morning. Marcus Thompson's calm authority, revealed through the gleaming badge, exposed Reynolds and Mason as impulsive, arrogant, and blind to humanity. Reynolds and Mason had retreated to their patrol car. Officer Brian Reynolds, male mid-30s, white, patrol uniform, leaning aggressively forward, posture dominating but non-lethal, facial expression stern and uncompromising, stared at the screen of Mason's phone. Officer Kevin Mason, male late 20s, white, patrol uniform, circling with sharp, calculating eyes, hands near his belt, muttered, "This is going to cost us." Reynolds swore under his breath. I didn't know he was." Inside the precinct, Captain Helen Ortiz, female mid-40s, Latina, professional uniform, sharp expression, upright posture, hands folded behind back, commanding presence. Reviewed the footage. Her jaw tightened as she motioned to Lieutenant Carter. Male, 40s, white, professional uniform, calm expression, assisting her, signaling immediate intervention. Bring in Reynolds and Mason. Now, full report. Ensure the DA's office sees this immediately, Ortiz commanded, her sharp tone leaving no room for error. Meanwhile, Marcus calmly spoke to the remaining witnesses in the bodega. Every time someone tries to intimidate or harm another because of the uniform they wear, they are accountable. And today, accountability found them. Tamara whispered, voice shaky, "Marcus, you should call the press. People need to know how close it was." Marcus shook his head slightly. "Not yet. Let the process work. Truth has a way of speaking louder than words." Within hours, internal affairs officers arrived. Reynolds and Mason sat in silence, posture stiff, faces pale. Marcus provided a clear, concise statement detailing the officers' actions, intimidation, and unnecessary force. The moment when his badge revealed the truth. District Attorney David Klein, male, early 50s, white professional suit, calm and authoritative expression, reviewed the files and footage. "This is egregious," he muttered. "Suspension is immediate. Criminal charges will follow if necessary." Public outcry surged. Local news anchors described the events. A black man, assaulted while doing nothing wrong, whose status as a federal marshal revealed the officer's misjudgment. Community leaders demanded reforms. The next week, a disciplinary hearing convened. Captain Ortiz presided, hands on the podium, sharp eyes ensuring full transparency. Marcus and Tamara testified in person. Marcus said firmly, "Authority is not a license to harm. It is a responsibility to protect and serve. Today, you failed, but I will not fail my community, my family, or the law." Tamara added, "My brother stayed calm when they tried to intimidate him. That courage saved not just him, but reminded everyone watching that respect is not optional." By the end of the hearing, Reynolds was suspended indefinitely. Mason faced formal reprimand and mandatory retraining. Policy reforms were enacted to prevent future abuse. Outside, Marcus and Tamara walked down to New York Street. Marcus Thompson, male, 38, dark complexion, athletic build, casual shirt and jeans, standing tensely, eyes wide open, jaw clenched, hands slightly raised in defensive posture, aggressive yet controlled expression, carried himself with calm authority. Tamara Thompson, female, 32, dark complexion, casual work attire, standing frozen, hand gripping a shopping bag, fearful expression, eyes wide, body tense. Remained close, protective. A young bystander approached with a smartphone. "Sir, you're a hero." Marcus smiled faintly. "No, I just acted with the law on my side and respect for humanity. Don't forget, power without accountability is a danger. Courage without calm is chaos. Remember that." Even Reynolds and Mason, watching from a distance, understood the weight of one simple truth. One badge, used responsibly, had turned the entire scene upside down. Marcus's gaze was fixed on the skyline visible through the kitchen window. "It's always been this way, T. Courage and calm can bend perception of power, but only if the truth is visible, undeniable." Meanwhile, the city's media machine had already begun turning. Social media clips spread like wildfire, conservative and liberal commentators weighing in, every angle dissected. The story was no longer just about a black man assaulted in a Queens bodega. It was a reflection of accountability, a public reckoning with authority. District Attorney David Klein, male, early 50s, white professional suit, calm and authoritative expression, convened his team. "We have every piece of evidence here. Witness testimony, body cam footage, social media verification, prepared charges for assault, abuse of power, and misconduct, full transparency." His team nodded, methodical. The wheels of justice began to move. At the precinct, Reynolds and Mason were summoned to an internal hearing. Their faces, usually a mask of control, were pale and strained. Captain Ortiz's sharp eyes swept over the room as they entered. "Stand at attention," she commanded. Every word measured, every gesture deliberate. "You are here to answer for the decisions you made in that bodega." The city watched. Your badge does not grant immunity. Reynolds swallowed hard. Mason fidgeted. The weight of public and procedural scrutiny pressed down on them. Marcus's presence was not required for this hearing. His words, however, echoed in every corner. Authority is not a license to harm. Respect is not optional. Outside, local community leaders had organized a peaceful vigil in support of Marcus. Candles flickered along the sidewalk. Neighbors held signs emphasizing dignity, justice, and accountability. Elderly residents spoke at times when authority had been unchecked. Younger generations posted live updates on social media. Every participant embodied the story's moral. Power, when untempered by conscience, can be exposed. Calm courage has the ability to enforce accountability. Inside the internal hearing, Captain Ortiz led with precision. "Explain your actions," she demanded of Reynolds. Mason followed suit, eyes darting between his captain and the evidence displayed on large screens. Reynolds faltered, every excuse colliding with undeniable proof. Mason's justifications were equally feeble, their defense crumbling under the weight of moral clarity. Carter spoke next, calm and analytical. "Both of you acted in direct violation procedure. Your response was disproportionate, aggressive, and unnecessary. Witnesses corroborate this. Your badges do not justify harm. They demand responsibility." At that moment, Marcus's impact rippled further than the precinct walls. Discussions at community boards, social media debates, and local news panels all highlighted the same principle. Accountability is stronger than intimidation, civility stronger than force. Tamara remained by his side throughout, observing the hearings and media coverage. "People are finally seeing it," she whispered to Marcus. "Your calm, your truth, it's changing minds." Marcus nodded, reflecting on the city around him. The skyline was no longer just steel and glass. It was a canvas where lessons were written in actions, not words. He realized that the true victory was not just personal vindication, but a reminder to the world that authority has limits and dignity has power. Days later, Reynolds was suspended indefinitely. Mason faced formal reprimand and mandatory retraining. Policy reforms were enacted in the precinct. Clearer procedural checks, mandatory de-escalation training, and accountability protocol for officers in every borough. The city acknowledged that one individual's steadfast adherence to law and human dignity